It's here, the long-awaited Spicebomb Dark leather. I've got my leather jacket on, I'm ready to go dark. I've been waiting for what feels like months for this fragrance to be released. I am beyond excited. I've read that this is built on the Spicebomb Extreme DNA, which I love so much. I'm expecting this to be some sort of hybrid between Spicebomb Extreme and Tom Ford's ombre leather. So let's see if that's what I get. I'm going to give you my first impressions right now, and then I'm out and about today, so I'm going to give this some field testing and share my first impressions throughout the day. Let's go. Definitely get that beautiful Spicebomb Extreme, which to me almost has like a bit of a tar-like smell to it. I don't know if anyone else gets that. So I get that. I get the vanilla, the pepper, the spices. All right, the leather at this stage isn't smelling quite like the leather in ombre leather. Like, there's no fruitiness with that. Ombre leather's a fruity leather fragrance. I'm not getting any fruits here, but it is exactly what it says it is. It's a darker leather. This is like just smelling this jacket. If I smell this jacket, that real dark leather smell put into Spicebomb Extreme, that's what I'm getting off this first spray. And honestly, I'm glad it's not gone the ombre leather route, because we've got that already. And if I wanted something more intense than that, then I've got Tuscan leather. It's interesting enough to not smell generic designer, which is, I think, what Viktor and Rolf do so well with the Spicebomb line. The Night Visions did go a little more that way, but this definitely has its own distinctive style. Nicely complex enough, but still mass appealing enough. And I've got to say, I am loving the bottle. This is the only 90ml bottle of Spicebomb that I've got. All the others are 50ml. I would have got the 50ml, so it matched, but it was all sold out, so I had to go for the bigger 90ml. Right, let's get this sprayed on. I've got a train to catch. I don't want to miss it. I always think with leather fragrances, that's the ideal time to wear them, is with a leather jacket. Also with this one, with it being a slightly darker fragrance, you don't want to wear this in the middle of summer, in the high heat. Fortunately, here in the UK, July stinks, and today is more like a December day than a sunny day. So sucks for summer, but works pretty well for testing this out. So let's go. When I first sprayed it on my hand just a few minutes ago, I was hoping and expecting the leather note to be stronger, more intense, a bit more prominent, but it's not as prominent as I was expecting it to be. And I mentioned that it wasn't like ombre leather in terms of its overall smell, but I think the leather is similar to ombre leather in that it's there. You can definitely tell it's a leather fragrance, but it's not overly dominant. So actually, it balances out pretty nicely. I will say though, I'm not picking up much of the incense at the moment. I was hoping that that would be quite detectable as well. Maybe as it settles down, as it dries down, that will become more noticeable, but at the moment definitely getting more leather than incense. York races today, so very busy station. So we're about an hour in, and in terms of the strength of the fragrance, I don't think it's as strong as my version of Spicebomb Extreme. It's not the newest formulation, I don't think, but my version, I think, is a little bit stronger than this, although I have just been outside so far, so it could just be that. I am about to go inside, so let's see how it performs there. So found myself a leather sofa to sit on. Only problem is I don't know if I'm smelling the fragrance, my jacket, or the sofa. Right, I'm out 2 hours later after being indoors, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely got more wafts indoors than when I was outside. I would still say though, I don't think it is as strong as Spicebomb Extreme. Certainly not as strong as Tom Ford's ombre leather, but really nice wafts. I think performance is decent, but it's not a beast. I also asked Alex, who is a fellow frag head, what he thought of it, and he thought it smelled nice, gave it the thumbs up. So it is a very mass appealing, easy to like sort of scent. All right, let's sum this up then. It's the end of the day. I've been wearing it all day, so I'm going to give you my first day, first impressions. Very enjoyable. I have certainly enjoyed wearing Spicebomb Dark leather. To give you an idea of how it smells, I would say it's probably 80% Spicebomb Extreme, 20% Tom Ford's ombre leather. So you are going to get a little bit of that ombre leather style leather in there, but it hasn't got the fruitiness of the Tom Ford. I'm going to be honest, I was hoping that the dark leather would be really dark and intense and quite prominent. Not too dominant in the fragrance, not overtaking the whole fragrance, but I thought it might be a little more pointed, a little more robust than it is, but it's quite a smooth leather. And actually that does have the advantage of making the fragrance more versatile. If it was too hard on the leather, maybe it would definitely only be an autumn and winter fragrance, but I think it's pretty wearable all year round. Maybe not in the high heat, although in July in the UK it is perfectly wearable on a day like today, which is very cool. So it's going to work on cooler summer days, spring days, especially well in the autumn and the winter, and versatile for occasions as well. I've worn this casually today and it's been perfect, but I could wear this for an occasion. I could dress up, I could put a suit on, and this fragrance would still work really well. So good versatility for occasions. I'm not big on presentation in these videos, so let's just mention it really briefly. You get the same Spicebomb bottle. It's got quite a nice matte black finish to the grenade. I do like the leather effect on the label, but it is just that, it's an effect. This is actually, I think, a plasticky band that is put around that is given a leather effect. Still looks pretty cool, but oh, if that had been real leather, that would have just been the icing on the cake. So I feel there was scope to go harder on the leather, to dial up the incense even more. I don't really get much incense, if any, in the fragrance. If I really look for it, maybe I can smell something that I think smells like incense, but there's definitely not much of it at all. I think they could have pushed these elements of the fragrance harder and it still would have had enough mass appeal for a mainstream designer fragrance. Performance is decent. Like I mentioned, it is not as strong as my version of Spicebomb Extreme. Remember, not the most current formulation or version of that. It is a few years old, so I don't know how this compares to the version of Spicebomb Extreme that is currently on the shelves. Maybe it's the same. So performance, pretty good. Not on the level of my Spicebomb Extreme, certainly not on the level of Tom Ford's ombre leather. If you want a massive performing, great mainstream leather fragrance, then ombre leather I think is better. In fact, I would give ombre leather a 10 out of 10. I would give my version of Spicebomb Extreme a 10 out of 10. I would give Spicebomb Dark leather a 9 out of 10. Really good fragrance, just not quite as good as those other two for me. I purchased this from Europe. I can't remember if the store was French or Spanish. I don't think it is yet available here in the UK, although it probably will be in the next week or two. Not sure about the States, it's usually a little bit after, but it's here, it's arrived. It's going to be available probably near to you sometime over the next few weeks. If you liked Spicebomb Extreme, if you like a little bit of leather but not too much, and Tom Ford's ombre leather was a bit too much for you, then I think you would really enjoy Spicebomb Dark leather. It's good. Right, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed this little out and about video, something a little bit different for you. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.